It's Breezy on Ice podcast, and I'm back with another episode for the podcast. And tonight I want to talk about some things. Alright, we're gonna first start off with talking about how instrumental Klay Thompson was and is to the Warriors, right, to this day. We know he had some injuries, to go along with that may have slowed him down, and he may not be as impactful this season as he was in previous seasons. But Klay Thompson is very, very vital to the team in the first two championships. Klay Thompson is a guy who could fill it up. Klay Thompson is a guy who scored, 37 in a quarter? So to say that Klay Thompson wasn't a great sidekick to Steph Curry is an understatement. In my opinion, he's probably, the best sidekick Steph Curry had before Kevin Durant came into the fold. And people forget about, Andrew Wiggins and how Harrison Barnes was once, somewhat a part of what the success that they had. He did stink it up in one of those NBA finals, but we're not going to get into that. We strictly talking about Klay Thompson and his ability to score the basketball with limited dribbling, catch and shoot, one or two dribbles, set some screens, and he can knock down the shots. And when he starts cooking, it doesn't matter if a guy's in his face or not. He can pull up and just hit it in anybody's face. And I think he gets disrespected a lot. And I think people forgot who Klay Thompson was as a player, before the knee injuries. He's showing some flashes this season. This has not been his best season. He has been reduced to a six-man role. We don't know how long that's going to last, but Jonathan Kuminga has been playing better than him this season. But Klay has put his mark and made his mark on the NBA. Klay is, one of the best shooters in the world. Klay is 6th all-time in three-point field goals made. So that's no understatement. Only guys ahead of him is Dame and James Harden, I believe. And maybe somebody else. And Steph Curry is the leader in that department. So what he has done for the game cannot be taken for granted or away from him. And I think he was very pivotal because he played defense on the best offensive player in his days before the injuries. Klay Thompson played lock-up defense. Draymond Green may be considered the heart and soul of the team, but when it comes to defense, Klay Thompson was that guy who took on the toughest challenges. We know Steph is not the best defender, so he guarded Kyrie Irving, and Kyrie Irving gave him work, but he played exceptional defense on Kyrie Irving, even though Kyrie Irving is just a special player. And like I said, you got to give Klay Thompson his credit, man. You can't shit on Klay and say that Klay wasn't a star player once upon a time. He's a really, really good player still. I think once he gets, his legs underneath him again, he will probably get back to that level. But once a shooter is always a shooter. That's the last thing to go. And he can shoot the basketball, man. He can flat out shoot. Steph is a flat out sniper. One of the greatest shooters we ever seen, and you have to mention Steph in that conversation, along with Dame Lillard and James Harden. We know what he can do, and just gotta give Steph. Steph get all the praise in the world, but Klay Thompson gotta put some respect on that man's name. What's next? What's the next segment I wanted to get into? It was something else I wanted to talk about besides that. Let's talk about NBA as far as systems and stuff like that. Now a lot of players love Mike D'Antoni's system, right? It's fun. It's offensive friendly. You play a little bit to no defense, and if you're a star player, you're gonna get all your touches that you need. As you can see, Mike D'Antoni's system featured Carmelo Anthony at one point. I believe Jeremy Lin during that stretch too. James Harden for 5 or 6 years in Houston. So Mike D'Antoni, Phoenix Suns team is a prime example with Steve Nash and Sean Marion and Amari Stoudemire, and those guys played under Mike D'Antoni also. You see how that works, that free-flowing, fun offense. It is about, just offensive friendly. You can shoot, you can pass, you're going to get dunks, you're going to get layups, you're going to score a lot of points. You're going to win games during the season. And you may win some games in the playoffs, but you're not going to win championships with that offensive style. It's similar to the LeBron James offense, right? Not here to criticize LeBron. Love LeBron. LeBron's a great player. One of the greatest players to ever play. Probably the greatest small forward to ever lace up a pair of sneakers. But he plays in his own system, right? Let's just be honest. LeBron plays in his own system. And LeBron James' system is, let me get the ball. I'm going to be the point forward. Give him some shooters. So when he drives, he can kick it out to the open man. If everybody can shoot the basketball, if the other 4 players can shoot the 3 ball, he will make the right play and kick it out to those guys, and those guys will have knockdown shots. That's pretty much LeBron James' system. Bully his way, get to the basket, and won. Now, if you think because LeBron James carried Larry Hughes and those guys to NBA finals and playoff series and stuff like that, that's winning basketball, then you're mistakenly wrong. That is not winning basketball either, because if that was winning basketball, LeBron would not be 4-6 in the NBA finals, right? Let's just be real. He would won all those finals, right, with the way he plays basketball. And yes, LeBron James brand of basketball is a little bit simpler. It's complex. It's more free-flowing. It's more of his control, as you know. And yes, LeBron has moments when he told coaches, hey, look, this play is not going to work. I got the play that's going to work. Just draw this play up. Give me the ball. I'm going to do this. As a star player should, as a superstar player should, have some say and input in the offense. Cool. But playing in the system is not the easiest thing. The triangle wasn't easy to play in. Michael Jordan made it look easy to play in. Kobe Bryant had to be scaled back a lot. If you listen to Phil Jackson when he talked about Kobe, when his statue was unreal, how Kobe was ready to go. He was like, look, man, I don't got time. I need to be the guy getting the basketball. I need to be the guy that's the pinnacle of the offense. But once Phil Jackson honed him in and told him, okay, we're going to gradually go, and when he got going, he was able to flourish in that same triangle offense that Jordan played in. Probably the second best player to play in that type of system. But to get your own numbers in that kind of a system is impressive. MJ was able to do that. Kobe was able to do that. He was able to get his own numbers, because if the play didn't go as planned, then those guys were able to do what they needed to do to get a bucket. Which is saying once the plays fall apart, once the play is broken, you do what you gotta do to get a bucket. Now you freestyle because the play fell apart. All of your options were not there, so you had to improvise pretty much, and that's what those players were able to do in that system. Carmelo Anthony played in that triangle system for a little while with Phil Jackson in New York. The Knicks didn't have the right pieces for Melo to play that kind of a offense, so it kind of frustrated Melo a little bit because he felt like it was outdated. He didn't have the right pieces to run that kind of offensive system, so Melo needed something different. But I believe if Melo had the right pieces in play, that system would have worked very, very well, and Melo would have been able to dictate and score a lot of points, maybe more points than what he scored, because Melo was a bucket, and it's too bad he got blackballed and had to retire before he wanted to, in my opinion. Melo could have easily been, top 7, top 5 in scoring with a couple more years, because he's a bucket getter. He was going to get those points regardless. But he finished top 10. So, salute to Melo and his career, which was very well. Very, 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 very good career. Melo was on note for being the hardest person to guard. A lot of people will tell you Melo wasn't the easiest guy to guard because the way he played basketball, he can play bully ball, he can get physical with you. Gave Kobe hell, and Kobe did play defense, so he gave guys hell, Also, I want to talk about a stretch in I think it was 2007 for Kobe. He had an impressive stretch. I think no one has had this stretch since then. Just give me a second. I'm going to pull it up real quick. but it's a very impressive stretch. I don't think it's talked about enough. It may have been talked about, but I'm going to talk about it because I haven't spoken about it. So this is my opportunity to speak about it, so I will do so. And it was actually a stretch from 2007 season where Kobe averaged 65, 23 of 39 from the field. Then he had a 50-point game, 17 of 35. Then another 60-point game, 20 of 37. Another 50-point game, 16 of 29. That's impressive. And it's 17 years ago from March 16th to date, the greatest scoring streak in NBA history. No one has broken it since. So that goes to show you how great, how legendary, my favorite player of all time, Kobe Bean Bryant was. And definitely a marksman on the floor. I see more of Kobe than MJ, so Kobe would be considered more my GOAT, but I respect MJ overall as the GOAT of basketball. A lot of people are going to say LeBron is subjective to whoever's opinion, and whoever wants to classify as whoever is a GOAT. Whatever you want to say stats, then you got to give it to LeBron. And let's get into the stat stuffing thing, or padding stats. Let's jump into that while I'm on this subject right here. A lot of great players pad their stats. Excuse me. MJ did it. Kobe did it. Russell Westbrook does it. James Harden did it at one point. I'm sure Kevin Durant says, he wants to pad his stats. The only person I think that didn't pad their stats and could have padded their stats and had legendary numbers was Bill Russell. Bill Russell was more of a guy who played within the flow of the team and on the flow of the system and the flow of the offense. He was probably the greatest systematic player because he was willing to give up his personal stats for the overall good of the team. So if you want to say the greatest system player of all times, or you want to call somebody the greatest system player of all time, you would say Bill Russell is that, because he sacrificed a lot of his stats. Yes, he got rebounds, he didn't score as many points, but he got 11 championship rings to speak of. The great Bill Russell. You could say Kareem Abdul-Jabbar padded his stats because hell, he led the NBA in all-time scoring before LeBron broke it, right? He's number 2 all-time in scoring. So he stacked his pads, right? The big O who averaged triple doubles, he stacked his pads, right? Until Russell Westbrook had a whole season of averaging a triple double a couple years ago. So a lot of these guys padded their stats. Yes. Magic Johnson is probably another guy who could have had astronomical numbers because he's a guy that can truly play all 5 positions. Great passer, could score the basketball, but Magic, he did things for the team. He did what was best for the team. So his passing ability and making others better around him was his thing. That's what he sacrificed for, and he won championships doing so. But he's another one behind Bill Russell that I think stats could have been astronomical. Wilt Chamberlain was a stat stuffer. I mean, look at his numbers and what he has done statistically. I think he had the best scoring average, as a rookie. Only a few guys as rookies behind him. MJ is one of those guys who averaged 28.8 points for his rookie season. Probably, I think, the third or the second best all time when you want to look at that statistic. So, yeah. So those guys. So yes, a lot of great players were worried about that, except for Bill Russell, and I think Magic Johnson is guys who could have had phenomenal, astronomical stats for a lot of seasons, but they didn't. They played within the team. They did what was best for the team. And Bill Russell, like I said, being the greatest systematic player in NBA history, because, like I said, his numbers could have been out of this world. Playing in the time that he played, there was nobody better on the floor than him during those times. In my opinion, as far as history tells me, that nobody was better on the floor when Bill Russell played basketball. he was the best player physically, mentally, all of those things. And he played within a team. He did what the team needed to do. Like I said, 11 championship rings to show for it. So he's the greatest system player of all times. Let's get into some boxing news. Let's try and make the transition over into boxing. Look like Tim Tszyu is going to exercise that rematch clause for that WBO title that he lost to Pandora. I would love to see that. So I'm looking forward to that rematch. We got Tank coming up soon, fighting Frank Martin. And in a couple of weeks, we actually have Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia April 20th at Barclays Center in Brooklyn, man. That's going to be a show. I think that's going to be a great fight. I think Ryan's got a puncher's chance. I know people probably think I'm crazy, but Ryan Garcia definitely has a puncher's chance. Ryan Garcia has pop. He's fast. Has a good chin. That he said the same thing. He has gotten up from guys who wouldn't have got up from certain shots from people like Gervonta Tank Davis. He got up in a couple of in like 1-2 seconds from the first knockdown. He got up quick from the Luke Campbell knockdown. So his chin has been tested. I would say Ryan has a good chin, man. He has a good, solid chin. We want to talk about chins and stuff. Devin Haney took a little time to recover from the shot from the novice, but ultimately he won the fight. Devin Haney is an excellent, pure boxer. Some things he got to work on a little bit, but as he gets older and gets better and gets more mature, and he's starting to come into his prime of boxing soon. He's 25. He's be entering his prime soon. But very skilled. Easily could take over the 140 weight class. And speaking of that, who is the next king of the 140 weight class? I mean, Teofimo wake up for big fights. He definitely does. You can't sleep on Teofimo. Lopez, you may not like him, you may not love him, you may hate him, but what you gotta do is respect that he gets up for big fights, man. And he didn't look so good in his last fight, but a lot of fighters have fights like that. But Teofimo Lopez is like the dark horse in this race. We all suspect that Devin Haney is going to be the guy at 140. Pitbull Cruz has the belt. He's going to be tough because, like I said, you don't have nothing to really hurt Pitbull Cruz with. He's going to walk through your shots. And I want to see who he's going to try to unify with next. Hopefully with somebody. And like I said, you never know what's going to happen with this fight because Ryan Garcia has a puncher's chance against anybody in the world. I think when he gets locked in and if Derrick James could get him too locked in and focused, he can be very, very dangerous to anybody in that division. So let's see how Derrick James gets Ryan Garcia to focus. Forget all the trolling, forget all of the antics, and get him to just focus on boxing and doing what Derrick James tells him to do. And I think he should be fine once he gets those things down pat and stuff like that. But it's between Devin and Teofimo for me for that division. Devin Haney's the consensus. The dark horse is Teofimo Lopez. And if I had to pick a surprise person in that division, I would say Ryan Garcia may surprise some people April 20th, but we have to see how focused he is. Let's see what else we can talk about. I want to move on from that segment. No, not just yet. Jessica McCaskill has a fight coming up, a unification bout coming up soon. I want to see how she looks. She's took some time off, so hopefully she comes back, look good. I got her winning this fight, so let's see what happens, man. I like Jessica McCaskill. She's an excellent fighter, I think. I want to see these ladies mix it up and fight each other. Maybe we might see her and Carissa Shields fight. Maybe we might see her and Alicia Baumgartner fight. Maybe we might see her and somebody else fight. But, the ladies always mix it up, so I wouldn't be surprised. And I want to see what Amanda Serrano's next move is. I know she had, she couldn't fight her last fight because of the eye. So hopefully she's healthy and the eye is good and healed up fine. And we can see her fight whoever she's supposed to fight next. I know Katie Taylor is supposed to be getting back in action soon, so I want to see what Katie Taylor next moves is. As far as for the women's division, Alicia Baumgartner is coming back into the fold of things. She's been training with Devin Haney and stuff like that, and Bill Haney. So I want to see what's next for her, and if her and Carissa Shields is really going to fight. I'm here for that fight. I think it's going to be a great evenly matched fight. I still lean towards Alicia Baumgartner just a little bit because she does have the equalizer that Carissa Shields don't have, but Carissa Shields is the better boxer. We have to see how that looks, but Alicia Baumgartner can box too. So like I said, she has the equalizer. And I think if she clips Carissa Shields with something, I don't know if Carissa Shields will be able to recover, but that remains to be seen. I got that straight down the middle 50-50 fight. In my opinion, a lot of people is going to roll with Carissa Shields, and that's fine. You know, it's a pick'em fight to me, and I would rock with Alicia Baumgartner. Carissa Shields has been great her whole career, and I think she's going to continue to be great. And like I said, one loss doesn't hurt anybody's campaign. When you fight the best, you're going to lose to somebody. You know, the best don't always beat their adversary. You know, sometimes somebody has your number, and that's cool. It's boxing. Canelo Alvarez and Jaime Nogueira is fighting next. I got Canelo Alvarez stopping Jaime Nogueira probably in the later rounds. I think David Benavidez is moving up, so I want to see who he fights. The move up fight. I think somebody may be fighting in September for the Mexican holiday. I forgot where I seen it at. I'm not too sure. I'll cover that in another video if anything. Yeah, man. Everything's looking great. The NFL draft is coming around the corner. WNBA draft is coming around. Speaking of that, Angel Reese is entering the WNBA draft. I would like to see where she goes. I know her rebound is going to transition into the pro game. Her offense, I think, is going to transition. I think it'll get better as she plays on the pro level. And I also think that Caitlin Clark, wherever she ends up, she's going to be pretty good too. And I just want to see what's her name is going to go. She's transferring from LSU. I forgot her name. I think her name is Lindsey Van something. She transferred from Louisville, where she was dominant with the Louisville women's basketball team. I think she's in the transfer protocol. I want to see where she's going to go for next year. Juju Watkins pretty much put the women's college basketball on notice and took it by storm as a freshman, averaging 27 points, second behind only Caitlin Clark, and had a 50-point outing. And she has a lot of accolades to go along with her success in her freshman year, and she's only going to get better, man. Juju Watkins is a baller. Somebody says her game reminds them of Carmelo Anthony, like she's the female version of Carmelo Anthony. I could see that because she can get to the rack, she can finish through traffic, she can play a little bit of bully ball, and she can definitely shoot the ball from distance. She definitely has some similarities to Melo's game. That's no lie. Damian Lillard said that. It's no lie. It's a lot of similarities to Melo's game, and that's a huge compliment coming from a guy like Damian Lillard. And I agree with him. And when you watch Juju Watkins' game, you definitely see that. She's definitely that type of level scorer. She's already like a 4-level scorer, almost a 5th-level scorer, and it's only going to get better. And when she becomes a pro, she's going to take the WNBA by storm too. And can't wait. I can't wait to see what she do next year. I can't wait for this matchup between Iowa and UConn. I want to see what NC State women's team do against South Carolina. Dawn Staley won Coach of the Year. Congratulations to her. She has done a lot with that program, and she has a lot of players that are in the WNBA that was under her tutelage, and she produces some of the best players, man. And she's continued to do the same thing consistently, night in and night out, year in year. She's doing the same thing, and you got to give her praise. I don't know if she ever wants to move up to the WNBA and coach. Maybe she could be an assistant coach in the NBA, like Becky Hammond was for a little while. You never know. I mean, she's a great coach, man. She's a great coach. I would love to see her continue her success. But I think she's comfortable at South Carolina, and as long as she's winning for that program, she will stay there, just like Gino Auriemma stayed at UConn. And he produced a lot of great WNBA players. Diana Taurasi, the great Maya Moore. I feel like I'm forgetting people. So many people came out of that program, man. He had the Renee Montgomerys of the world. Every player he produced went on. Stephanie Dolson went on to be successful in the NBA, man. I believe, I want to say Cappie Pondexter, who was my favorite WNBA player, man, when she played during her time. Yeah, Cappie Pondexter was a beast, man. Like Gino coached a lot of talent, man. I can't name all of the talent that he coached. I can't even remember all of them off the top of my head. I want to say Sue Bird might have been there too. I don't want to lie. He had a lot of the top elite level players that played in WNBA. Everybody knows Maya Moore is the ultimate legend, what she did with the Minnesota Lynx. And Gino is definitely a great coach, man. Great coach. As you know, the Rockets is fighting for their lives to get into that play-in tournament. Julius Randle, this is a huge hit to the Knicks. Even though I think he's a Krabby Patty after what he's done in a couple of playoff series before, I think the Knicks is going to be fine without him. But they would have been able to use him. I think he is very important to what they do. When he's playing well, he's playing well. But when he's not, he's a Krabby Patty. I like Jalen Brunson. I think he's going to be able to do something. Josh Hart and those guys got to help Jalen Brunson out in this playoff run. I think they can get past the second round this year. I think they can have a nice little run. As long as they have OG back by playoff time, they should be good. It's just they gotta get Jalen Brunson a little more help, man. And Jalen Brunson is open to signing an extension in the offseason with the Knicks. He's really dedicated and playing for this New York team and being in New York and dealing with the pressure and, rising to the occasion and playing in Madison Square Garden is not an easy thing. He's kind of like Melo in that sense. They got to do right by Jalen Brunson. If he wants to stay in New York, you pay him and you get him the help he needs, and you never betray him or turn your back on him. You give him everything that he needs because he's giving the city everything that he's got on a night in and night out basis. And I'm not a Knicks fan at all, but I respect what he's doing for my city, and that is very commendable. And he deserves everything. The organization needs to give him everything that he needs within reason, and try to get him some help, and you should be fine. The MVP race is heating up. Joker is leading the way as usual. Luka Doncic, I believe, has moved up to second. He was fourth at one point, but he's back. He's in the right place. Shea fell down to third. I think Shea is the MVP. 50, 30-point games this season. You can't knock what he's doing. He has his team at the top of the Western Conference, top 3, top 4 seed, wherever he's at. You can't argue what he's doing with that Oklahoma City team. That's a young, hungry team. I can't argue if it goes to Luka Doncic. Luka Doncic is playing out of his mind, man. Out of his mind. 73-point game he had this year. We know Luka could fill it up. Luka deserves, to at least finish in the top 2. If anything, he deserves that. If Shea's going to win, Luka should finish second. And if Luka's going to win, I think, Shea finishing second or third is justified. And, Joker, he's good. You can't take nothing away from him. But I think the MVP should either go to Luka Doncic or Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. But I'm rolling with SGA. That's my pick. I said that already previously in one of my TikTok videos that I posted, and I'm going to stick to that. But if Luka win, I would not be disappointed. in that, because like I said, Luka leads the league in scoring, and Luka does what he does on a night in, night out basis, which brings me back to my point. That 05 season, right, where Steve Nash won the MVP, right, over Kobe Bryant. Kobe averaged 35. I do think Kobe should have won that MVP. You know, a lot of people say, well, he had the aura thing going on and all this other shit. But if Kobe didn't get it, who was the next person up to get that award? Because you have to look at, doesn't a person night in and night out production count? Steve Nash, don't get me wrong, you know, good point guard. I got him somewhere in my top 10 point guards of all time. Probably like 6 or 7 maybe. You know, a lot of people might argue with that, but I don't have him as the best point guard of that era. I'm sorry. Or all time as far as point guards, I do have him in the top 10. But I'm sure there was a couple of other players that was averaging more than than Steve Nash. I understand he took on Mike D'Antoni led team. They were that offensive system again, right? That Mike D'Antoni offense to 60 wins or 50 wins or whatever that season was. But they were in a dogfight with that same LA Lakers team led by Kobe Bryant. And Kobe and them was a 7th seed or something like that. So I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. But I think I'm gonna end it here. I'll get into some MLB in the next video. You can follow me on Instagram at King Aubbreezy. I have another Instagram that is Breezy on Ice. That's strictly for like videos and stuff like that, promoting what I'm doing. My TikTok is a.breezy on TikTok. And yeah, you can like, comment, subscribe to the YouTube channel. You know, let me know what you guys think. Peace and love as always. Want to shout out Isaac and them on their podcast, and Bronx Baby and them on Full Court Hat. They be having some great segments over there. Some of the stuff, sometimes I'll be like, I'll be pulling my hair out, so I got to link up with them one time and maybe do a collab with those guys. Shout out to them, though they doing major things over there. Yeah, peace and love as always. Breezy out. Breezy on Ice.